Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi guys, it's me Khalis Salsabila. Here I would like to explain all of our materials start from first until the last. So keep on watching. So guys, our first lesson is about pronoun. So what is pronoun? Pronoun in Indonesia is kata ganti. So this is a word that choose to exchange noun or noun phrase in that sentence. So do you know guys, there are some kinds of pronoun. So here we go. First is personal pronoun. This is used for a specific object or person. There are subjective case. They are I, we, you, they, he, she, and it. And then objective case, that is me, us, you, them, him, her, and it. And the last is possessive case, that is my, our, your, their, his, her, and its. And the next is demonstrative pronoun. So this is used to show or identify one or a number of nouns that may be far or near in distance or time. So they are this, that, these, and those. And the third is interrogative pronouns. So it is used to ask questions about a person, object that we don't know about. So we used to use who, whom, which, that, whoever, and whenever in interrogative pronouns. And the next is relative pronouns. This is used to join or relate two different clauses together by referring to the nouns in previous clause using the pronouns. So we can use who, whom, whose, which, and that. And next is identified pronoun. So this is used to show unspecific object or people whenever in plural or in singular. So we can use some, anybody, anyone, now, here, few, many, or nothing. And then reflexive and incentive pronoun. So this is used to identify a noun which has been used in earlier part of the sentence. So we can use myself, themself, yourself, ourself, herself, himself, and itself. And the last is reciprocal pronouns. So this is used when two or more nouns are doing or being the same to one another. We used to use each other. So our second lesson is about noun. So what is noun? Noun in Indonesia is kata benda or nomina. So noun is used to be as object. It can be person, things, place, or idea. So there are some types of nouns. That is, the first is concrete nouns. It becomes two. That is, common nouns and proper nouns. For example, car, dog, Richard, and etc. And then the second is abstract noun. It's, for example, is drawback, fraction, holdout, uptake, joy, fiction, and etc. And then the next is countable and uncountable noun. It is pen, book, girl, chair, water, rice, etc. And the next is collective noun. That is school, colony, class, bunch, and etc. And then the fifth is compound nouns. For example, myself, co-buddy, boyfriend, classmate, outfit, and etc. And then possessive noun. For example, boys, ball, gift, doll, my best friend's house, my teacher's book, and etc. And then the next is regular plural nouns. For example, cars, bags, pens, books, gifts, boys, etc. And the last is irregular and plural nouns. For example, man, woman, people, feet, teeth, children, and etc. Well, the next lesson is about adverb. So, what is adverb? Adverb are words that are used in sentence to describe or change the meaning of a verb or adjective or even another verb. Adverb is used to explain the word in front of it or adverb itself. So here are some types of adverb. First is adverb of time. For example, once, never, tomorrow, daily, and etc. And I put the example here. For example, she will visit the hospital tomorrow. So tomorrow is adverb of time. And then the result. And the next is adverb of place. For example, anywhere, somewhere, near, far, etc. I put the example here is they will meet you there. So there is adverb of place. And the next is adverb of manner. Honestly, joyfully, etc. For example, he quietly slipped away. So quietly is adverb of manner. And the next is adverb of degree. Fully, partially, altogether, etc. For example, she almost finished the work. So almost is adverb of degree. And the next is adverb of frequency. For example, often, yearly, briefly, frequently. Here are some examples for the sentence. He likes to watch TV every day. So every day is adverb of frequency. And they meet every week. So every week is adverb of frequency. And the next is adverb of common. Unfortunately, luckily, happily, honestly, etc. Here are some examples for the sentence. Happily, the power returns before being matched. And the next is adverb of conjunction. However, consequently, moreover, conversely, etc. For example, however you look or you look at all, it's still a mess. So however is adverb of conjunction. And the last is adverb of confirmation and negation. So there are definitely, absolutely, surely, never, etc. For example, they will certainly like this fish. So certainly is adverb of confirmation and negation. So guys, our next lesson is about adjective. Adjective in Indonesia is kata sifat. Adjective is used to explain noun atau kata benda. So, here are all kinds of adjective. First is touch. So, for example, flaky and fluffy. And the next is sound. For example, deafening and faint. And taste. For example, bitter and French. and the next is size, that are gigantic and huge, and the next is shape, there are curved and crow-cold, and the next is quantity. For example, abound and empty, and the last is time. For example, modern and rapid. And then next, our lesson about tenses. Our first lesson that we learn about tenses is simple present tense. Simple present tense is tenses which use when something happened habitually or something happened in that time. There are some rules in making verb in the simple present tense. First, for the end of the verb which use ch, sh, x, double x, o, x, and z, we should put es. For example, go become goes. And the next is for the verb which end of the verb is consonant plus y, we should put ies. For example, study becomes studies. And for the verb which end of the verb is vocal plus y, we just need to put as. For example, say becomes says. Some kinds of simple present tense is first, simple present tense affirmative. The pattern is subject plus verb plus to be plus object. For example, she reads Harry Potter books every day. And the next is simple present tense negative. So the pattern is subject plus don't or doesn't plus verb plus object, or subject plus to be is mr plus not plus object. And the last is simple present tense interrogative. The pattern is do or does plus subject plus verb 1 plus object. For example, does she read Harry Potter books? And the next is simple past tense. Simple past tense is used for the sentence which have been happened in the past. There are some kinds of simple past tense. First is simple past tense affirmative. The pattern is subject plus verb 2 plus object. And the example is she joined the English club plus at school yesterday. And the next is simple past tense negative. The pattern is subject plus did plus not plus verb 1, or subject plus to be was were plus not plus verb 1. For example, I did not sleep well last night. And the last is simple past tense interrogative. The pattern is did plus subject plus verb 1, or was were plus subject. For example, did you see my bag on the table? Or was she so busy? Well guys, our next tenses is about simple future tense. This tenses is used to make a sentence with a context happened in the future. So there are some kinds of simple future tense. First is simple future tense affirmative. So the pattern is subject plus will plus verb 1 plus object, or subject plus to be is mr plus going to plus verb 1 plus object. For example, Budi will take public speaking class tomorrow. And Dini is going to finish her homework tonight. And the second is simple future tense negative. The pattern is subject plus will plus not plus verb 1 plus object, or subject plus to be is MR plus not plus going to plus verb 1 plus object. For example, Father is not going to buy new house tomorrow, or you will not know the process until you try. And the last is simple future tense interrogative. The pattern is will plus subject plus verb 1 plus object, or to be is MR plus subject plus going to plus verb 1 plus object. For example, will you come to my party tonight? Or are you going to go to Dufan tomorrow? Well guys, the next is about gerund. Gerund is giving ing in the last of our verb. So there are some kinds of gerund here. First is subject of the sentence, yaitu sebagai subjek dari kalimat. For example, dancing is my hobby. Dancing is from the verb dance, so we put ing because it was an object. And the second is as the object of the sentence, sebagai objek kalimat. For example, I like hanging out with my friends. I as a subject, like as a predicate, and hanging out is an object. So hanging out is from verb hang, so we put ing there. And the next is as object of preposition. For example, she was tired of being someone else for all her life. So after we put of, we should put being. We should put verb plus ing there. And the last is appositive. For example, rapping, a type of fast singing, is an interesting activity to do. Because first we put rapping, so the next we should put singing. Singing is from verb sing. So guys, the next is article. Article in Indonesia is kata sandang. Article is the word that modifies or describes the noun, and it's used before the noun to show whether it refers to something specific or not. Article has two types. First is definite article and second is indefinite article. So, definite article is to clear sex or obvious about something. And I have put the difference between two of article there. So, I will tell you about the example. For definite article, the example is the cat sat on the couch and the dog attracted me and ran away. And for identified article, do you have a pencil? I want to have an apple. So you can see the big difference between two of them. And our next lesson is about conjunction. So, what is conjunction? Conjunction in Indonesia is kata sambung. This is used to make a relation between two words, two phrases, or two clause, or even two sentences. So there are some types of conjunction. The first is coordinating conjunction. This is used to link or join two words or phrases that are equally important and complete in terms of grammar when compared with each other. For example, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, soon, or used to call as fanboys. And then the second is subordinating conjunction. This is used to join an independent and complete clauses with a dependent clauses that relies on the main clause for meaning and relevance. For example, although, as, before, once, through, until, whatever, etc. And the last is correlative conjunction. They are pair of conjunction used in sentence to join different words or groups for words in a sentence together. For example, both with and, either with or, just with as, neither with nor, not only with but also, whatever or, hard with when, and etc. And the next is preposition. Preposition is combined with noun or pronoun to make a phrases, and this is used to explain verb or noun or even adjective. So there are some types of preposition. First is preposition of time. We can use in, on, at, and then preposition of place, that is in, on, at, and then preposition direction. We can use toward, to, through, and into. And then agent, we can use by and with. And instrument, we can use by, with, on, and the last is preposition phrase. We can use listen to, add to, agree with, according to, and etc. And guys, our last material is present perfect tense. Yeah, we learn about tense again here. So, present perfect tense is that kinds of sentence that which used to tell an action or situation that has been started in the past and still happened until now or has been done in that time. So there are some kinds of present perfect tense. First is for the positive sentence. In verbal, we can use subject plus have or has plus verb 3 plus object. For example, I have told you 3 times. And for the nominal sentence, we can use subject plus have or has plus been plus nominal. For example, she has been a doctor. And for the negative sentence, in verbal, we can use subject plus have or has plus not plus verb 3. For example, I have not ever gone to Yogyakarta even once. And for the nominal sentence, we can use subject plus have or has plus not plus been plus nominal. For example, in 1003, Indonesia has not become best. And the last is for the interrogative sentence. In verbal, we can use have or has plus subject plus verb 3. For example, have you already taken a bath? And for nominal sentence, we can use have or has plus subject plus been plus nominal. For example, has she been in school now? Guys, I think that's all about my explanation. I forgive if I make a mistake. And thank you for watching. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.